Today we are in my bathroom. I know that probably seems a little weird, but for a special reason because this is where I wind all of my yarn. So bear with me. I want to walk you through how to put yarn on a Swift and how to wind it. Bye! Okay, so here we have a Swift. This is an umbrella Swift. This one is from Knit Picks. I've had it for a very long time, probably several years, well, more than several years. So this is where we want to take our skein of yarn and we are going to stretch it out over, and then what we do, I'll take it apart just to walk you through it. Hopefully not make a mess here. So we are going to, what I like to do is open it just a little bit, wrap the yarn around it so we've got a little bit of tension, and then loosen this, and then we're going to stretch this out until it's tight. It doesn't have to be super tight, but it's got to be able to stay on there well. Now here, just have a loose piece. So I already went ahead and I undid all of the little strings that keep the skein together because I wasn't thinking and I already did it. I also took off my label. This is Madeline Tosh, which no surprise is my favorite, and in antique lace. So now that it's set up on the Swift, we are down here at the ball winder. We are going to place our yarn in this handy dandy little arm. The tree is optional. You don't have to have a ficus tree in the way. My bathroom gets the best natural light, so that's why it's in here. And then there's this little crease in the top here that we're going to set our end in. Now, from my experience, you can wind either way, clockwise or counterclockwise. For me, it's intuitive to wind clockwise, so that's what we will get going doing. Now, I have to hold this down because on mine, it's pretty old and it doesn't like to stay in place. This is also not the most expensive ball winder there is, so you get what you pay for, right? So we're just going to continue winding, and this can be a long process, so we can speed this process up. I would recommend going a steady pace. If you go too fast, you can get caught up and have issues, and they're harder to undo. If you go too slow, like I was just doing, you start to lose your tension, and then you get something like this that happens. So you have to go and make sure that you're undoing it. Make sure this other end isn't getting involved. So, and we just wind. As your ball of yarn gets larger, you need to be careful because there's gears underneath of this little platform that the ball of yarn sits on, and what can happen is the yarn can get caught up in that gear. I know this from a lot of experience having that happen because I wasn't paying attention and my ball was getting too big and I was winding too much. So just be aware of that. And I'm getting to that point now where, see how big my yarn is? It's starting to slip off of the base. So I need to be really cautious and pay attention. Sometimes you will need to clip and start a new ball. But if you're like me, you can't stand to have seams in your work unless they're absolutely necessary. So I just keep going. Okay, here's what I mean about the strings of yarn on the skein that hold it together. Now these are on here to hold the whole thing together. And I know you're wondering, why the hell does she have a pair of nail clippers in her hand? Well, that's because my children have run off with my scissors. Hopefully not running with scissors, but you know what I mean. So I'm just going to use what I have right here because I am in the bathroom after all. And yes, I do sanitize my nail clippers with alcohol after every use. So I'm confident that they are clean and that's not an issue. So we just go around and we're gonna clip all of these strings off. Now, when we get to the point where we've got this one here, I clip this little string, as you can see, and look, that's our end. Well, it's actually our end and our beginning together. So we're gonna clip that, and then I clip that end off. And you can choose either end to wind with. It doesn't matter which one, in my experience at least, it doesn't. So now we are ready to wind up this yarn.